Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Unboxing Tomorrow adventure in electronics, robotics, and communication systems, where I will be diving into part 2 of the Decentraland Metaverse. Because I've got a lot to cover, I will assume that you've watched part 1, and this video will move rather quickly. Like before, if you see a location that looks interesting, you can check it out for yourself by looking for the XY coordinates in this corner of the screen, which will give you a way to teleport there if you use the /goto command. In that prior video, we saw that you can play the entire game using only a simple web browser. Since then, I've learned a lot about the underlying blockchains, and want to share some information that I think suggests that this does go beyond being a simple video game. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing inside this video should be taken as financial advice. For transparency, I do hold the official Decentraland token, symbol MANA, and I also hold other tokens such as Ethereum ETH, Polygon, aka MATIC, Non-Fungible Tokens, called NFTs, and other cryptocurrencies that help the game run. You can find a full list of all these in the video description. Now, because I'm not a Decentraland developer, this video will not be a very exhaustive source of information, and I could even get a few details wrong. You should refer to official sources whenever possible, and I won't be offended if you point out any errors or missed details in the comments. For your own cybersecurity, never give away your crypto, your private keys, or your recovery phrase. If you're playing along right now might be a good time to allow pop-ups from the decentraland.org domain, at least if you're using a crypto wallet extension. In this video, I'm going to cover Decentraland live concerts and how they relate to NFTs, how people are playing the game to earn crypto, areas that are good for learning about blockchains in general, and where I believe this project is headed long term. If you want the full version of this video, where I also cover a few rough patches that are being worked on, plus an actual blunder I've already made playing the game, then you should check for Unboxing Tomorrow on the decentralized platforms Minds.com, Odyssey.com video, and Bittube.tv. These are free platforms, but you can only find the full video if the platform itself is decentralized. As an example, I'll give you one caveat right now. That is, this game does use public, permissionless blockchains, meaning that anything that you own or collect inside the game will be visible to anyone who knows your public address. And for reference, your public address is going to be almost as visible as your username, so it's something to bear in mind if you have privacy concerns. Now, an easy workaround is to simply create alternate wallets, and possibly even have a different wallet for each use case. If terms like permissionless or public and private key are unfamiliar, then I recommend watching my previous video, Bitcoin, What It Did Differently, since it covers the basics. In that same video, you'll recall that Bitcoins don't move around in the conventional sense, but rather your Bitcoins are tracked on a ledger that essentially records who owns what. These ledgers are replicated across the globe, essentially by machines called Bitcoin nodes, and we use a combination of strong encryption and fault tolerance strategy to prevent tampering, double spending, or reversing transactions. In fact, apparently Decentraland started as a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain, but that was many years ago, and it has since moved on to Ethereum. The Ethereum blockchain gave us the idea of smart contracts and tokens that currently help the game run. Ethereum's ETH, Decentraland's MANA, and Polygon's MATIC are all considered fungible tokens of the Ethereum network. In this context, fungible essentially means that one mana is indistinguishable from the next, at least for transactional purposes, and it is also worth noting that traditional fiat currencies also share this property. So for example, if you had coins in one pocket and banknotes in the other, the monetary system isn't going to care which pocket you pay out of, so long as the face values add up to whatever you owe. Your counterparty can respond by giving you back change, and these properties increase the likelihood of the two parties being willing to transact. That's the power of fungibility. Non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, are tradable inside the game as fixed images, audio files, animations, wearable items, unique usernames, and believe it or not, even the land itself. Land parcels measure roughly 16 by 16 meters, and as large as the game is, there actually is a fixed supply of land. All of these NFTs that I just mentioned essentially live on the blockchain in accordance with open standards ERC 721. What this means is, NFTs that you collect inside the game actually are interoperable with outside independent projects. Pretty much anything I can trade in the game I can also trade in OpenSea, and vice versa, even though there are a few exceptions. Like the land itself, wearable NFTs have a fixed supply, and it's actually the NFT creator themselves who gets to decide what the supply is going to be. If you're interested in NFTs, I recommend starting in the main lobby, jumping down the waterfall, and talking to these two characters in the corner. You can see NFT-related stats in the Trade Center, although I do suspect these stats currently only relate to NFTs that exist on the Ethereum blockchain. The newer stuff exists on a newer blockchain, which I'll get to later. In the lower right corner, you can find the blueprint icon for the 3D builder, and effectively use it as an entry-level tool for designing your own 3D environment called scenes. And by the way, if you happen to own a land parcel, you can deploy your design to that land parcel position. In fact, players selling their land may even include their pre-made buildings as part of the deal. One of the newer NFTs to gain attention is the Proof of Attendance protocol, also called POAP, or occasionally POAP. Basically, these are free collectibles that you can get from special events, live concerts, scavenger hunts, and normally to find one, all you have to do is locate a POAP dispenser and press the purple button. Alternatively, these may appear as 3D objects that only you can see, or as a pop-up window. And to clarify for cybersecurity, that pop-up window is only going to appear inside the game itself, and it will not appear anywhere else on your desktop environment. So what exactly can you do with a POAP after you collect one? As just one example, Tensai Puzzle Lab will reward you 1 POAP for every puzzle that you manage to solve. Collect 10 POAPs, and your avatar can enter the restricted area. So in short, it is possible to change the game, or at least the in-game experience, based on the NFTs that a player does or doesn't have. If you're like me and you want to learn about more blockchains by playing the game, I recommend visiting Nifty Plaza around 87 and 17, Crypto Valley, basically this entire blue area, Etheria at -62 and -122, and Chad Halla for the Blockrunner podcast at -31 and 49. Since the week of Halloween, there's actually been a huge influx of new players, and the number one question people seem to ask is, how do you actually earn crypto by playing the game? Keep in mind that crypto is still a risky market, and you're not guaranteed to gain value. For starters, you can check out the Wonder Mine, which in my opinion is the most beginner friendly. Now, this game doesn't require any form of payment, but I'll admit the trade-off is it does take several weeks, if not months, before you can craft your first NFT. At least when I start recording this video. A more exciting option is to create or trade NFTs. And this even seems to be good for digital artists because you can create your own content from scratch, and if you get approval from the Decentraland DAO, you can sell your design on the open market, at least after some type of a startup fee. If you created your own NFT outside the system, for example on OpenSea, you can actually either buy land or convince a landowner to curate your materials, and this does happen all the time. Another possible way to earn, although I'll admit this is a bit of a cop-out, is to play the game inside the Brave browser. This option will award you Basic Attention Token, or BAT, in exchange for viewing ads, and again for transparency, BAT is also a token that I own. Finally, believe it or not, there have been virtual jobs and virtual job fairs inside the actual game. In my opinion, if just a few of the marketplace functions, such as buying, listing, or transferring NFTs face-to-face, were added to the in-game interface, I could actually see this growing into not just a social network, but also a sort of immersive NFT exchange. And that's where I think this is headed long-term. In summary, the Decentraland Metaverse, at least in my opinion, has a lot of unrealized potential as a graphical, decentralized NFT exchange, and maybe a social network. Facebook's announcement to rebrand as its own metaverse actually had the side effect of giving DCL legitimacy, and I think this was quickly reflected by Mana's rising valuation and the rising number of Mana wallets on the network. The browser-based approach to gaming means this game is very accessible, at least to anyone with a decent laptop. From my observation, this was also evidenced by the countless languages that you can see in the chat. So I don't think it's a question of whether the idea will take off or not. I think the better question is this going to be centralized or decentralized? And for that matter, where exactly is Decentraland going to rank? I've said this is unrealized potential, not untapped potential, because Decentraland has already hosted live webinars, at least one actual job fair, and it clearly has the attention of celebrities, artists, and even major brands, and I must say it did so without all the ethical blunders of big tech companies. As for this series, should there be a part 3, should I cover another decentralized project, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. As usual, these projects are made possible thanks to support from Patreon, where we have a monthly poll and lessons learned on technical builds. And of course, I'd also like to thank my affiliates, TorGuard, online privacy protection services, and also Satoshi Labs, maker of the Trezor cryptocurrency wallet. Crypto wallets are key management devices, and unlike the one we talked about earlier today, Trezors operate with a lot more independence from your personal computer. I've been using Trezor wallets for many years, and you can learn more by clicking the link in the video description. Stay posted for the next video, and as always, have a great day.